My name's Eric, and we're at Ambleside Skatepark in West Vancouver. I'm part of a group of people that is pushing to get this park resurfaced, redesigned, and rebuilt. Ambleside was built in the early 90s. The construction was finished in about 93 or 94. At the time, the only parks that existed on the North Shore were Griffin and Sealand, and those were both bowls. So at the time, it was the first street park. In terms of design, it was ahead of its time. It was the first park that I know about that included greenery in the design. Now, if you go around Vancouver, and you'll see a lot of parks that have popped up with the same sort of landscape design involved or thought out in these new builds. So with respect to that, it was pretty ahead of its time. By the mid-2000s, skateboarding had become a lot more mainstream, and municipalities and communities around Vancouver and the Lower Mainland were really starting to see value in building and putting a park in their community. Around that time, the design and construction was quite far ahead with respect and comparison to the design and construction of Ambleside in the early 90s. So there's a lot of kids and older guys going to these new parks rather than frequenting the Ambleside. There's a huge importance in having a good skate park in every community or municipality, because skateboarding as a sport has, I hate to use such a businessy term, but it has a very low barrier to entry. And what I mean by that is basically, it doesn't matter what socioeconomic background you're from or what your parents' status are, your ethnicity, your age, or whatever. To acquire the gear, which is essentially just the board, is relatively easy to do. From there, comparison to most sports, it doesn't have a team, and you don't have to adhere to a certain schedule to do it. So a youth can grab their board and they can go skate in their driveway, or they can go to their park, and it's very entrepreneurial in the sense that whatever you put in, you get out. So if I was to say to someone who never skated, why is having a new skate park in West Vancouver important? It's important because there's a new generation of kids that are coming up that don't have a good, safe public spot to skate. And skateboarding as an outlet is very positive because it gives them something physical to do, and it also gives them a sense of accomplishment in that they'll put in time to grow their skills, learn new tricks, and gain a personal sense of accomplishment. And I think that later on in life, certain aspects of skating, the entrepreneurial part, translates to a strong work ethic, a good sense of community. So with that being said, I think it is really important to have a good, safe, and challenging spot for the youth and older guys to come skate. As I was saying before, the park was built in the early 90s, making it over 2 decades old. And naturally, the elements that we see and face in the Pacific Northwest have done a serious number on the ground, on the ledges, on the banks. And I think, like any recreational public area, there should be some level of maintenance involved. And it's been 2 decades, there hasn't been any maintenance. Now, combine that with the fact that the park is outdated in design, I think it's time for the city and this community to seriously look at rebuilding and redesigning this park. In terms of liability, I've hung up on cracks and checks in this asphalt hundreds of times in the last couple of years. And if we can take the measures, the necessary measures to eliminate some of that liability, why not? And let's also look at this as an opportunity to redesign and rebuild a park that not only stands out and challenges the skaters in the community and on the North Shore, but also super aesthetically pleasing to people that are coming along the seawall that go, wow, this is architecturally beautiful, that the concrete formwork is beautiful. These days, and for the past couple of years, people walk along the sidewalk, they don't even stop. But I think if there's a really quality element of design here, you'll have people that don't skate stopping because they really have some keen interest in what's going on. So to wrap it up, there's a safety issue, and there's also an outdated design issue. So I think there's an opportunity here to tackle both of those with a redesign and a rebuild. If you look at the top of the website, there is a tab that says support. If you would take a moment just to click the support tab and sign our online petition, We'd very much appreciate that. It only takes a second. If you want to go even farther than that and shout us out, whether it be on your own blog or your own Facebook or your own Twitter, your Instagram, or just let some people know in whatever avenue or medium that may be, we would really appreciate that. And I hope, along with a lot of other people, that by the end of this year or next year or the next year, we'll be skating a super rad park by the sea. We hope to see you there.